But I've got another bone to pick, dude.
Okay.
And this one has been bothering me, and I think we're what, like, I don't know, 27 games into the baseball season or something so far. And
Yeah.
I can't be quiet about this any longer. Have you ever heard the Giants manager Gabe Kapler give an interview?
Yeah. So I heard it once, and
Just once?
just I can't do it, bro. I'm gonna say it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
dude,
say it as a huge Giants fan. The dude is a dork.
dude.
He's a complete dweeb.
I mean, it's just like I feel like he talks himself in circles.
Yeah.
Like he's all over the fucking place in
Yeah.
terms where it's like he's trying to explain a philosophy as to why they made a certain decision there, and it's just like, you know what? We don't need to know what happened. Like Bruce Bochy would have just been like, well, that's the guy we wanted there, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like,
That's what I love
you know
about
what I mean?
Boach, man.
And it's
Yeah, we
like you
made this
don't need
call
to
and it
embellish.
didn't work out.
The other thing that bothers me is like all the people that are asking him these questions, they've been beat writers for years. They've been reporters for years. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, like every once in a while before the game starts, or I'm listening to like KMBR like right before the game starts because I'm like doing the dishes or something like that, or getting dinner ready. And John Miller always has his like it used to be the Bruce Bochy show, now it's the Gabe Kapler show. Like right before the game, like he would always interview the manager. And I'm thinking to myself, John Miller is already in the Hall of Fame. Like he already knows baseball so much. Like the only person who probably knows baseball from an announcing perspective more than John Miller is probably uh what's his name from the Dodgers?
Vince
Vin Scully.
Vince
Yeah.
Scully, yeah. Or Vin.
And so I'm thinking to myself, like the way Kapler talks and tries to explain his position on everything, it's as if he's talking to a second grader and he needs to explain baseball
Yeah.
in a way that like this person can understand. And I'm like, you really think you need to explain this to John Miller? And first of all, like you don't have to explain anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Like you can just be like, well, you can make up whatever you want. Like look at what Bill Belichick does. Like he doesn't tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
Bill Belichick's best answer to 90%, 99% of the questions he's asked is this. Is it
yeah,
literally a shoulder shrug? Like
yeah.
sometimes that's the best answer you're gonna get out of that
Well, and
guy.
I like what Belichick goes, well, we were, our objective is to score more points than the other team. We didn't get that done.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's pretty. You can't really argue with
I
that.
feel like Kapler, he's just trying to explain why they're sucking, but it's not working.
It's like he's just making too many excuses and this and that. It's like there's a point where you're talking too much and it sounds that much stupider
Yeah.
of what's coming out
That's
of
why,
your
like, to
mouth.
me, he sounds like a dork. He just sounds like
Yeah.
he's just a
It's like
nervous nerd. Like,
he's trying to sound so sophisticated, like he knows what he's talking about, and he's trying to also be like a good friend to the media and all these different things where it's just like, just worry about being a manager.
yeah,
And people will also respect you if you don't embellish to the
yeah.
extent that you do on
He
everything.
he
You
reminds
know?
me of like the nerd trying to ask the girl out on a date. Whereas, when they go up and they're like, "Yeah, I was wondering if like you didn't have anything to do this weekend, and I don't know, like if you had plans or like the ramble before the question."
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's how he is with his answers. He doesn't
Oh, I
just
know.
say, like, he just goes on this little ramble thing, and it's like, okay, you could have just said like, "Oh, we messed up."
Well, and do you remember when not John Madden used to like do football and like towards the end of his career, like you can tell he was getting worse because
Yeah,
he was captain obvious, or oh, he's the best in the league at that, or
yeah,
yeah, that's what he's trying to do, get as many yards as he can. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
we understand the point.
Well,
It's like
that's
you don't
like,
need to remind us.
you remind me how I am with Kruko. Like, some of my close friends know this. You might know this, and I get a lot of flack for it, but I'm not a fan of Kruko. And the thing that
He's a little too much of a fanboy from time to time.
the thing that triggers me is just how he like calls out basic ass plays. Like, how many times I used to count it, bro, when he would get a like a generic ground ball to second base, right?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the big leagues. No,
Yeah.
no. If he missed that, that would be a big no. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's like the most standard ground ball. Not
Yep.
welcome to the big leagues. How about like, oh, that was pretty obvious he was going to get that one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
welcome to the big leagues on everything.
Well, like Joe Panic's like diving stop in the World Series with like the flick of the glove to like second base. That's welcome to the big
Yeah.
leagues. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah. But just like your
But
generic ground ball to second, like where they grab it and he's just like lobbing, maybe like shuffle steps like 2 to the left, right? And then
yeah.
like has like kind of a off-footed throw or didn't really need to do that, but just kind of went with the flow of his body. Welcome to the big leagues. Like, no, not welcome to the big leagues, man. Like he absolutely should have made that play just how he did it every single time. So,
But back to Kapler, like one of the points I was trying to make, like, so like just like how John Madden would point out just the most obvious comment, like I forget who he was talking about, but Kapler was talking about somebody's at bat, and like literally this is what he said. He's like, so yeah, well, you know, we're trying, we really want him to swing it, you know, really good pitches in the zone, and we really want him to lay off bad pitches that are not in the zone. And I'm just like, dude, like, yeah, like that's what I tell my T-ballers, you know, or
you know, we really want the pitcher to throw the ball over the plate and try not to throw it off the plate. We really
yeah,
want our batters to swing at pitches and not just stand there and stare at them, you know?
yeah. And then it's just like, and you can tell that it's like they're running baseball operations 100% by the analytics,
Yeah, it's
and
obvious too.
it's the analytics that are sometimes putting them in position to lose
Yeah.
games. You know, because it's like things still happen by chance. Like the analytics aren't foolproof. Like, yeah, like it's more probable this is going to happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to.
Yeah.
You know,
It bums me out because it hurts to see the Giants do bad for me. But I am enjoying it in the one aspect of it just shows how much going with the flow and like how Bochy was really mattered. Because it's like he'd go with the guy that was hot, even if like it wasn't the guy that should really be like how many one-off
yeah.
names did we have on our teams over the last decade that had these little spurts that they just were like fantastic, but then they would disappear.
He managed with his gut. He managed
Yeah.
from the gut, and he managed like he understood the game enough to manage from his gut. And
Yeah.
the difference, like the reason they're going so heavily off the analytics is, and that's part of the reason why they hired Farhan. Like this was like the new direction the Giants were going to go. And I keep saying that I feel like Kapler is just this puppet. You know,
Yeah.
he's not necessarily a coach per se. He's somebody they think speaks well, even though he doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, because he's going to be essentially your voice of your franchise to the media and like the manager, even though you're basically the puppet in this case. My point with that is, it's like he tries to explain like the way they shift guys into position with the way the analytics say things, and then when things don't go right, he tries to explain it with some very like detailed synopsis as to why we got to the position we were in, and this is what we were trying to do, and this is why he was there, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, dude, you don't even need to do that. You can just be like, well, the scouting reports did this, and our game plan was, you know, we were following the game plan, and it just didn't work out. You know what I mean? And it's like, and people will understand, because we obviously as sports fans understand that, oh, your game plan is you shift for people because that's what the analytics tell you to do. So I understand that. I
Yeah.
don't need anything more. I don't need a bigger, because you make yourself sound that much more stupid when you're going around in circles talking about the same thing and you're contradicting yourself in your same statement. You know?
Yeah.
It's just so, it just makes him, it's just such a bad look.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how there's not like the Giants are this multi-million-dollar franchise and whatnot. It's like like news anchors have people that coach them and tell them how to speak on a daily basis. Like, hire somebody for this guy. Teach him how to talk to the media, what he should be able to say and what he doesn't need to say.
Buy a
You know what I mean?
10-minute
Because
session with Bill Belichick.
yeah, it's just like, I mean, but it's like he's also like in his mid-40s. He's played baseball his entire life, and I'm sure he's grown up managed by some of these old timers. It's like, let's take a page out of their book, dude. This isn't your first exposure into baseball. Like you were also a manager for the Phillies for a couple years. You were, you played in this league for so long. It's like you should understand this. Like you're like I feel like the Giants and specifically this Kapler regime is trying to be so innovative that they're trying to like create like something new that doesn't already exist in baseball, and it's gonna blow up in their face, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a different style of baseball that I'm having a hard time getting on board with. Um, Maybe in time, but I don't know. It's I'm not having fun watching the games.
Well, I mean, like Evan Longoria, I feel like he lines up on the second base side more often than he does at third base, and he's still in the game as a third baseman.
Yeah,
And that's just because of the shifts.
yeah,
It's like, well, then you don't necessarily need Evan Longoria. You should have just put 2 second basemen into the lineup and throw one of them at third every once in a while.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Very much.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous,
No,
man.
that's a good one, man. He's Kepler's an interesting character, but we'll see. We'll see what time
Yeah.
brings.